12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
"30 years of joyfulness." Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM here in Accra, on Love 99.5 in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via our various affiliates, live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. This afternoon, a storm of controversy at a thank you tour. The war of words between NPP firebrand Kennedy Ejapong and the party's Bono regional communicator.
This time, no, Maame buafu mo bi nkodi obi atem na se owi a wo se yankoye a unity a me respond to any baby ayensa ka go showdown minisa wo sika minsire sika mo hia fo promise bu dibi kasa kokugudro so ye sika fo wo bondok.
We'll also hear from a political scientist who says the entire thank you tour is unnecessary.
I don't think it's necessary. There are more pressing issues that I would have thought that the party will spend more time to look at it in detail.
More as leading member of the party, Boachie Jakon, says the thank you tour is leading to internal strife. Also this afternoon, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman yet to resume work following the expiration of her medical leave.
She is recuperating and catching a bit of rest. She is very well, and that soon she will join us.
Meanwhile, President Mahama launches a fund to cure non-communicable diseases. Also coming up, protocol enlistment, political interference and the composition of the National Security Council are among the key concerns raised by the military, police, immigration and other security agencies as they call for reforms during the Constitutional Review Committee hearing.
Case of the appointment of the military command, they should go through parliamentary approval.
Deployment of personnel, doing my enlistment, all those kind of things, that's not my duty. It is the duty of the IG.
Well, amid warnings from the CDD's latest Afrobarometer report about growing public support for military involvement in governance, a Major General of the Ghana Armed Forces firmly states that the military has no intention of interfering in politics.
So nobody in the armed forces in his right frame of mind will think about a coup in this modern era. Coup is not something we should go back to. It will turn the country 10 times backwards.
We also have sports, and in the bulletin we'll be in the Ashanti region where the Forestry Commission has been resisting the movement of seized excavators from its depot by a group of security operatives claiming to be acting on the instruction of some political leaders. We have more as the NGO Child's Right International reveals a surge in the use of children for illegal mining. These and more with me, Maame, Nyamekye, Thompson. Stay for details. This afternoon, the ongoing thank you tour by the opposition NPP is being rocked with more controversy after 2024 flag bearer aspirants of the party, Kennedy Ejapong and Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo Elias Abronye, traded insults. At the party's thank you tour stop at the Bono region, the two clashed over internal party issues, taking turns to hurl insults and accusations at each other. Listen.
Arrogance and the dear Babia Yadri. Raging ha, mo say two me nine quite single constituency.
It is arrogance that has led us to this place. In this region, did any one of you see me openly campaign for a particular candidate? But some people use my name to campaign and later lied about it. These same people will return to you to campaign, but they have annoyed me.
But no campaign, almost a brilliant nesumamo. Sankrofon so yes, I do me dim by but this time, no, Maame buafu. Na mom, mo bi nkodi obi atem.
No one should go out there to insult anyone. You don't go out there and insult everybody and then return and ask for unity.
Mwana mukreti.
Obi anye be man chobia. Party nti enipa bi tumi kasa te so mo member.
Look, in this party, no one is a man than the other. Because of NPP, some of you speak like you are men. You are not. When it comes to contributions for this party, you can't even help. You go around begging, but you talk like the whole world revolves around you. If it's not about unity, some of you can't even speak the way you are speaking. Because when you come to my house, you are even shy. Some of you, we buy cars for you. Or when you come out here, you act arrogantly. I will not respond to some people. If not, you would have seen a showdown. Me, I'm a rich man. I don't go about to beg for money. Even you poor people claim you can be courageous. How much more those of us who are rich? Who born dog to talk to me anyhow?
Who born dog?
But with the thank you tour generating controversy since it kicked off, political scientist Dr. Kwame Sansati believes the tour is not necessary. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express.
I don't think it's necessary. There are more pressing issues that I would have thought that the party would spend more time to look at it in detail. For instance, we saw the bickering and the rancor that characterized the primaries. And it fed into the whole electoral process. You cannot discount this. So this, even though I've not seen their report, this is something that still lingers on within the political space.
Well, on that same show, a former NPP flag-bearer aspirant, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, explained that the party should instead be going around the country apologizing for its abysmal governance record.
I actually think we need an apology talk rather than a thank you talk. We should be apologizing to the country for our bad work, and then we should also have what I would call an accountability process in which we hold to account the leaders of our government and government agencies whose misgovernance and arrogance and corruption caused our defeat.
We apologize for the poor sound quality. Well, another flag-bearer aspirant, Boache Chairman Ting Ejako, has also issued a statement on this raging controversy. And my colleague Kweku Asante joins me with a copy of that statement. Kweku, what does it say?
Well, according to Boache Ejako, the ongoing thank you tour envisioned as a beacon of hope and a rallying point to reignite the spirit of our faithful supporters is unfortunately veering off course. What was intended to restore our party's shine and reconnect us with the grassroots is instead unraveling into bouts of discord, blame shifting, and internal strife. The regrettable turn of events threaten to inflict serious collateral damage on the very fabric of our party, and more worryingly, it is steadily eroding the goodwill and trust we have worked so hard to cultivate among the Ghanaian people. In light of these unfortunate developments, I am earnestly calling on the leadership of the party to act swiftly and decisively. It is time to apply the brakes and reassess the direction of the thank you tour. We must pull back from what is increasingly looking like an imminent coalition course and chart a path that upholds the unity, dignity, and forward-looking spirit of our tradition. That is the statement from Boache Ejako.
Thank you, Kweku. Meanwhile, following the barrage of criticisms from within the party against its 2024 presidential candidate, Dr. Maame Bawumia, what they say is his refusal to accept responsibility for the party's election defeat. His spokesperson, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, is fighting back.
That accountability.
Where you and I were at UPSA on the 7th of February 2024, when the president was seated there, all the cabinet members were there, and Dr. Maame Bawumia spoke about all the things he would do differently should he become president, and all these things were in there. There was nothing the vice president has said on this tour that he didn't say whilst he was in office.
Arrogance of power.
Exactly, he said
different.
it. Yeah, he said it.
He said it when he was in power.
Yes,
publicly.
Yes, because you see, Evans, these things, they are just part of the human nature. You are a big organization. You've appointed close to about 8,000 people. You should expect these things to happen across.
But does he accept that he is as guilty as everybody else?
That is why you see and hear him. And I watched him on your news where he said, Yaso yedin, Yaso yedin, Yaso. It is we. There is not a single statement the former vice president has made without using the pronoun we.
Well, Kweku is still with me in the studio. Kweku, how was the Kennedy and Abronye disagreement was resolved?
So when we see Dr. Maame Bawumia, the 2024 MPP flag bearer, who's been leading this thank you tour, actually stepped in after those two traded words at each other and got them to actually hug before the program ended in the Bono region.
Right, thank you, Kweku. Well, we have on the line Dr. Kwesi Amache, who is a political scientist and joins me on this. Ms. Amache, we are grateful for your time on Midday News. Is this thank you tour healing or deepening the division in the NPP?
Let me say thank you for this opportunity and also to express my appreciation and say thank you to your listeners and viewers. The whole thing, at least so far as what has come public is concerned, is not necessarily healing. It appears to be opening wounds. It appears to be deepening some existing ones.
So how then does the leadership of the party begin to heal these cracks, these deep cracks that is unraveling on this thank you tour?
I think as it is, they can't stop. But moving forward, they need to re-strategize and simply come to terms with some realities. They should, to the best of my understanding, proceed with this understanding that the issue is collective responsibility. That should drive the whole thank you tour agenda. And I think it's also a misnomer. The thank you is a misnomer because when they go out there, what eventually come out is not necessarily people expressing appreciation for what might have happened. Obviously, a lot of things didn't go on well. The massive loss, the number in Parliament speaks to this issue. They need to really render apology to people. I think they want to rename it properly. It shouldn't be a thank you tour. I agree with Dr. Kennedy. It should be somebody like an apology tour. And then everybody should be made to be measured in what they say. They are there as a team to endear themselves to Ghanaians after expressing sincere, remorse. Then they should go ahead and, simply present themselves. I think they should be there as a team. It shouldn't be an opportunity for anybody to try to, make gains. No, that's not the time.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Kwesi Amache is a political scientist. Moving on, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman was expected to return from her 3-week medical leave, which began on April 7, 2025. Joy News sources say this followed her doctor's recommendation to focus on her health and recovery. The Vice President's leave became necessary after reports of recent health concerns, which required her to seek treatment abroad following initial care at the University of Ghana Medical Center here in Accra. There's more in this report filed on Monday, April 28th by presidential correspondent Maxwell Agbaba.
A statement from the presidency released on March 30 confirmed that Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman received medical treatment at the University of Ghana Medical Center following a sudden illness on Friday, March 28, 2025. The statement, signed by the Minister for Government Communications, noted that medical experts recommended the Vice President travel abroad for further treatments to ensure a full recovery. Providing reassurance, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa stated that the Vice President was responding well to treatment and recovering steadily.
I also want to assure you that she is doing very, very well. Your prayers have worked. Your prayers from all over Ghanaians at home and abroad has really worked. I have heard from her, so I know what I'm talking about.
Speaking at the launch of the Free Sanitary Pad for Girls initiative last week, President Maame also stated that the Vice President was doing well and will soon return to work.
I wish to extend the greetings of Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman to all of you. I spoke to her and I told her we were going to miss her at this event because this is a program that is very dear to her. She said to say hello to all of you and to say she's recuperating and catching a bit of rest. She's very well and that soon she will join us to continue to prosecute the reset agenda.
The 3-week medical leave, as disclosed by our sources, ends today, and the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, is expected to resume her official duties today.
Well, but is she back to work? Host of the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, Kojo Jackson has been doing some checks and joins me with the latest. Kojo, what did you find?
Well, I can tell you that the Vice President is not back at work. She's not back in Ghana. As you recall, until the President made the comments you just heard played back, the only official communication about the Vice President's condition was on the 30th of March, when that statement came out, informing the nation that she will be flown out. Since then, there has been no official communication. We found out through our own sources about the 3-week sick leave that she was granted. That was supposed to have ended on Monday. We are told now by our sources at the presidency, close to the Vice President, that she will return any day now. She's expected back any day now, which means there is no official date for her return, but she is not yet in the country as we speak.
Thank you, Kojo. Well, President Mahama is, however, launching the Mahama Care to dedicate special funding to treat non-communicable diseases. Here's Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando providing the focus for the fund.
The overall objective of the fund is to mobilize resources to finance and support the treatment of non-communicable diseases. It focuses on covering the cost of treating chronic conditions, including cancers, diabetes, hypertension-related complications, cardiology issues, chronic kidney failure, and stroke at the specialist level. Support will be selective, targeting the gaps not currently covered by the National Health Insurance. In addition, capacity building initiatives are being pursued to expand access to specialist care with a strong emphasis on early screening and diagnosis. As a ministry, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to achieving universal health coverage for the people of Ghana. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund aligns strategically with our key sectorial policy frameworks, including the National Health Policy 2020, Ghana's Roadmap for Attaining Universal Health Coverage 2020 to 2023, 2020 to 2030.
Well, Professor Philip Adenu with the College of Physicians and Surgeons says the program will work with adequate recruitment of health specialists in all fields.
Because for this initiative to work, we need specialists to provide the leadership. And many people appreciate the work of specialist doctors and talk about that. But many of us are a bit blind to what specialist nurses and specialist pharmacists do. But then I would like to just let all of us know that we need specialist nurses for healthcare, this initiative work. We at the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons have done some analysis, and we've realized that we need about 6,500 additional specialists for us to be, of all categories, for us to be able to deliver the kind of care that is needed by 2030. Currently, we have about 2,000 specialists in training in the country. So there's quite a bit of a gap.
We can now hear from President John Mahama.
The perception was that if you were rich, it was a disease for the rich. Hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes were diseases of the rich. But increasingly, we see that it's inflicting more the persons who are much poorer and can least afford to be able to manage those diseases. And that's why the Ghana Medical Trust Fund has come at the right time. I have a personal connection to non-communicable diseases, and that is because my father died in 2001, and he died of prostate cancer. My mother died in 2016, and she died of complications of high blood pressure and diabetes. My stepmother died of breast cancer. I lost a friend and somebody who worked for me last year. We celebrated 1 year since she passed. I'm sure most of you know Maame Dumo. She died of breast cancer. And currently, I have a staff in my office whose son is in his 30s and is on dialysis, is suffering kidney failure. And so these are not things that are far away from us. These are things that are close to us. These are loved ones that we're talking about. We must see them as real lives that we need to touch and help.
And you heard the President, John Mahama. We're also learning that the President has donated 6 months of his salary to the Medical Trust Fund, also known as Mahama Cares. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We take a break. When we return, protocol enlistment, political interference, and the composition of National Security Council are among the key concerns raised by the military, police, immigration, and other security agencies as they call for reforms during the Constitutional Review Committee hearing.
Case of the appointment of the military command, they should go through parliamentary approval.
Deployment of personnel, doing my enlistment, all those kind of things. That's not my duty. It is the duty of the IG.
Where did I? Now I don't know when you just saw. Obiang, what's the chrome ha? Ain't you want to say petrol for your energizing drinks for motion? Hey boy.
Petrosol are celebrating their 10 years in grand style. They're giving back to their loyal customers. Hope you have registered at their online portal. Don't say I didn't tell you.
Each month, customers will stand a chance of winning items like tricycles, motorcycles, television sets, refrigerators, phones, fuel vouchers, and many more. But the best part is that at the end of the promo, we will be giving out a grand prize of 2 Suzuki Espresso cars to lucky winners who stay with us all through the promo period. All you need to join is to visit any of our over 100 stations across the country to get registered, or go to www.petrosolcrm.com to register online.
Petrosol, energizing dreams.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Jenny Ramsa. Stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it this way. You might now watch it. New Yanets now watch it. No, be a baby, someone some demon in us. Jenny Ramsa. Fair quiet, yes, in Biara Association Ontario. Use Stay Soft and New Yanets now watch it. Nanny boss to tap from cry. A fabric softener. A year near says, choose to Stay Soft. No, who's so say, no. FDID a dreading crowd to Yatu.
Papa no no, 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 Ankasa. Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get Sumo, Rambo, and get Sumo Super. And the Polytank, we did. Polytank, papa no no, 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 Ankasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
It's still the midday news here on Joy 99.7. We have sports now with Mr. Tamaklo.
Maame, later today, all of us are going to the airports where the Joy Sports team will bring you live commentary of the Champions League semi-final first leg between Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain at the Palms by Eagles, formerly known as the Holiday Inn. Ahead of that game, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has been speaking.
It's an opportunity. I mean, we have to have the feeling that we have to hold them back tomorrow to go on that pitch and express themselves. It's a moment now to say, okay, this is who we are. This is who we are as a team. This is who I am as an individual. And I'm going to put my very best in there to make it happen and play with that mindset and leave yourself go. They know everything. Now is about, okay, where are the limits and how far I'm able and how far I want to go. Guys, bring your boots, bring your shorts, bring your t-shirts, and let's play every ball together. You know, you want to do something special, that place has to be something special, something that we haven't seen. And I really hope that everybody that comes tomorrow to the Emirates and everybody's watching and following us, it brings that energy with them.
Ateta says, bring your boots. I say, bring the family to the
Are you
Palms
sure
by
Arsenal will
Eagles.
win?
I doubt.
I didn't say that, oh. Anyway, the country's leading security institutions, including the military, police, immigration service, and other allied agencies, have voiced serious concerns over political interference, biased enlistment protocols, and the structure of the National Security Council. These concerns were raised during a session of the ongoing Constitutional Review Committee hearings, where the agencies collectively called for urgent reforms. Let's start with Major General with the Ghana Armed Forces, Dr. Emmanuel Kotia, who is unhappy with the composition of the National Security Council.
Now, the issue about bringing technical people to assist is key. One thing we can look at in Ghana is that we can have a technical level of the National Security Council and then have the political level, because you don't expect a Minister for Interior being there with the IGP. In our case, the Commissioner for the Director General of CID is also there. Then if there is a voting process, then the IGP and the Commissioner of Police will vote with their minister. And at which side do they vote on? Which direction does it go? The minister should have the overall right so far as issues of internal security is concerned. The same applies to defense.
But the police administration appears satisfied with the structure of the National Security Council. However, it wants clear administrative lines drawn between the Interior Minister and the Inspector General of Police to address political interference. We can hear from Commissioner of Police in charge of Technical Services, Saibu Garba.
If we can go on this tangent, then it sorts out so many problems. The minister will know that when it comes to the day-to-day administration and operations of the Ghana Police Service, that is not my responsibility. Deployment of personnel, doing my enlistment, all those kind of things, that's not my duty. It is the duty of the IG. When it comes to policy, accountability and all that, it is the minister.
Well, stay a little longer here. And growing number of Ghanaians have expressed their support for military intervention in the country's politics should elected leaders abuse their political mandate. According to the Afrobarometer Report 2024 survey conducted by the CDD, 51% of respondents believe that Ghana Armed Forces should assume control once governance of the country deteriorates. But Major General Emmanuel Kotia, who also lectures at the Ghana Military Academy, says the army has no interest in politics.
One of the key things I say is that, look, coup is not something we should go back to. It will turn the country 10 times backwards. So, if you want to be a politician, you better drop your uniform and then go and join politics. That is the best way by which we can get ourselves involved. So, the Ghana forces, actually, the culture, the ethics, and what have you, has worked to the advantage of the country. The education has also worked. Because of that, people are well educated and they know the issues involved in coups, the disadvantages of coups. So, nobody in the armed forces in his right frame of mind will think about a coup in this modern era. And then they also understand the economy, because there are issues on education on the economy. They understand the social interventions and what are social activities within the country. What happens within the training of the armed forces has been one of the key issues, the key strengths of the armed forces. I can mention that in clear terms.
Well, a group of security operatives claiming to be acting on the instructions of some political leaders have been seizing or moving seized excavators from the depot of the Forestry Commission in Kumasi. Erastus Asaridonko joins me on the line for more on this. Erastus, what other details have you covered?
So just as you heard, there was an order from certain quarters that the excavators be released. Mind you, these are excavators that have been seized from illegal mining sites, have been properly and lawfully placed in the custody of the Forestry Commission. They've been marked as exhibits, and 5 of them were carted out of the depot after confrontation with the forestry officials and armed national security operatives. After some time, when we started making inquiries, then another order came that they should return the seized excavators. And so all the 5 that were moved out of the depot have since been returned. But it is yet to be known who directed that seized excavators from Jimira extension or Finnish shelter belt should be returned or released.
Right. Thank you so much, Erastus Asaridonko. Now, legal expert Dr. David Ofosudote is casting doubts on the feasibility of a 24-hour policy amidst the country's power challenges. He spoke at Joy News' Amalgam of Professional Body Speakers series and the senior partner at AB and David Africa. In his address titled Transforming Ghana's Economy for a Renewed Revolution Mindset, argued that the country cannot industrialize with 6,000 megawatts of power.
Legal expert Dr. David Ofosudote, in his presentation, challenged government to fix the country's power challenges if they are serious about implementing a 24-hour economy.
An organization like VRA should be looking at 20 megawatts of power or 20 gigawatts. There are studies which shows that for this country to industrialize, we need a base load of 20,000 megawatts.
That report by Noella Yali. And now what's trending? I have Jackie in the studio and her brother
Derek Elom Ashelevi.
So what's trending? Let's do this quickly.
Well, a lot has been trending on social media. Business mogul Richard Nyamekye. You remember 22nd March, the biggest party in Ghana. I'm sure even Nigeria, they can't come close. Well, he has stepped down as the CEO of his company, and he's moved away from that, Derek.
To start RNAQ Holdings, he's stepped away from Quick Angels, so he's retiring at 40, and everybody feels that wow, you can retire at 40.
Well, he said that, so I'm really not surprised about that. Anyway.
Yes, so Unet said that Jeff Bezos 61 years no retire, Richard Nyamekye 40 years has retired.
Charlie,
if black man gets more money, he thinks he can.
But Macy, that's all we have for you in the trends. Take it away.
Thank you, and that's how we end the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.